We all saw the vacuum on Brooke's head, but things have changed and she's looking beautiful as ever now. So we wanted to give you a quick update so that you can be in the loop with how she is recovering.
Hey, lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Bolts. I'm an attorney and founder of Bolts Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Bolts, owner of Bolts Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Miss Biz, where we're putting the Miss in biz.
Let's get biz done.
So the last time when we broke the news about your cancer diagnosis, you were just kind of starting the process of moving forward towards healing. They hadn't done the extensive surgery when it came to the reconstruction aspect just yet. So now we're going to touch base and find out how things are going, what lessons you've learned, and what our viewers can learn from this experience.
Okay, so last time that we spoke on this, I still had an open wound on my head. And so right after that episode was recorded, I had what ended up being a 10-hour surgery. And what was involved is that first the oncology surgeon cut out what she believed to be all the remaining cancer cells, and then they started the reconstruction with a plastic surgeon who took a skin graft from my stomach, which involved cutting from hip to hip across my whole stomach, and then taking that skin and putting it over the wound on my head to cover the open wound that I'd had for so long. So that was done, and it ended up requiring 3 days in the hospital. Tuesday to Friday I was in the hospital, wasn't able to walk during that time until the very end when they first started me with a physical therapist to start walking and things like that. So I had that surgery really shortly after our last episode was recorded, and everything went according to plan with regard to the reconstruction. The skin graft, everybody says, looks great. Great is a relative term because it maybe looks great in a medical sense, but definitely does not look natural. It's I can show it on the video screen, but it's I don't know, I feel like there's a piece of lunch meat stuck on my head all the time, and that's kind of what it looks like too. But thankfully I have a lot of hair, and so when I part my hair in a certain way, it covers up most, if not all of it. And a lot of times people say they don't even recognize it unless I pull my hair to the side. So yeah, I had that surgery and have been slowly recovering since then. It's been about a month and a half since that surgery now, and my stomach is mostly healed. I think that it's just going to take time for it to fully get stretched out, but my head really is fine. It never really was super painful because it's just like numb. It's skin that's put on there that has no feeling in it, so it's fine.
It was a pretty long surgery too, as I remember. I remember texting Richard, Brooke's husband, my brother, and I was like, is she out of surgery yet? And he's like, no, she's still in. And I was like, my goodness, it was like, what, almost 20 hours long?
10 hours. It was 10 hours.
It felt like 20.
Yeah. Well, it was only supposed to be like a 5 or 6 hour surgery. It ended up being 10 hours that I was under anesthesia. And when I woke up, because I went into surgery at like 10 a.m. And when I woke up, it of course felt like no time had passed. And I asked what time it was, and they're like, it's 8:30 p.m. And I thought, holy cow, that was a long surgery. I don't really know why it took so long, other than, just everybody taking their time and making sure to do things the best they could. I don't think that there was any complications or anything like that. There was a lot to be done to get the cancer cells out and to do this reconstruction. I also found out, they told me this after my surgery, that I am the first person in the world to have stomach skin put on the head.
And they weren't going to tell you that, like, before you made that informed decision?
Right. Well, yeah, I'm glad, in a sense, I'm glad they didn't tell me before, because I would have been a lot more apprehensive, because they made it seem like they do this every day.
Yeah.
So I probably would have asked a lot more questions if I'd have known it has never been done in the world before. But it's also kind of a cool stat if someone says what's like, two truths and a lie or whatever, like
it's a great question.
Something nobody knows about you or whatever. It's I can go in the Guinness book. For stomach skin on my head.
Get you there.
Stomach skin on my head. Just what everyone wants to be. To be known for.
Doesn't matter. Your name's in there. All that needs to be known is that you hold first place in the Guinness World of Records. So you had the surgery. Now, what are the next steps in terms of surgery and timelines, and how will things transpire from here?
So the unfortunate news is that they did not get all the cancer cells still. So that has complicated things a little bit in my mind, although the surgeons seem to still be recommending that we leave it alone at this point. The surgeon says, she's cut out so much, she calls it healthy tissue, because again, the cancer cells are microscopic and they can't be seen except for under a microscope. So when she's in there operating, she's just cutting away at healthy tissue. And they've cut so much at this point. The wound was 10 centimeters, which is bigger than a softball. At the time they finished the most recent surgery. And there's 2 areas that they're still having positive margins. And she said she's roundtabled it with the cancer board, and they all think that they just need to leave it and monitor it with MRIs every few months. So we are currently in July. My next MRI is going to be in September to check for tumor regrowth. If there is tumor regrowth, I guess we'll visit it at that time. She did say that sarcomas can be like a whack-a-mole, she said, where sometimes the tumors just come up and they remove it, and then another one comes and they remove it, and it just kind of like always going in and removing them, which obviously is concerning to me, especially since I'm going through reconstructive surgeries now. Right. That I just hate to go through this and just cut it open again. But the chances, I guess, of the tumor regrowth are fairly low, so they still think that it's best to move forward with the reconstruction and just monitor the area with MRIs to watch for tumor regrowth. Do you love the Miss Biz podcast?
Because we love you.
Here's 3 things you can do to show your support.
1, write us a review. Apple, Spotify, and Google My Business are the best platforms to write a review.
2, follow us on social media. Our handle is at Miss Biz Podcast.
3, join our Facebook group, Miss Biz Nation, for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage. Also, ask questions related to your business and discuss topics from our episodes.
Now, you were telling me that in a few weeks, I believe it was in a few weeks, you're going to be having another type of procedure done. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes. So right now, the skin graft covers my forehead and also goes into my hairline, like probably by a few inches. So they're going to start the process of reconstructing my hairline, which is pretty cool that they can do this. They take these, the doctor calls them water balloons, but they're made out of like plastic or something. They're not rubber, but they surgically insert these water balloons underneath my scalp, and then each week they inject more saline into those water balloons to continually stretch the scalp skin. So that's going to be happening next month, where they're inserting the water balloons, and then each week will be, so the water balloon surgery is going to be like a 2-hour surgery, she said. And then after that, each week they'll be injecting more saline until it gets to the point that the skin has stretched enough that they can pull it to then put it back where my original hairline was.
That's really cool.
Yeah, in fact, you can look these things up on YouTube. I've watched some of the videos on YouTube of before and afters of this same type of surgery. Apparently, it's pretty common for people who have really abnormally large foreheads or receding hairlines. They do these surgeries all the time. There's lots of videos of it online, and you could not tell at all that this wasn't their natural hairline. It was fantastic, the results.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So, and when they do that, they'll be removing part of my graft, which I'm happy about, because the graft is, it's weird. Like, it's like this puffy, it almost feels like a water balloon itself, the graft. If you touch it, like my kids like to touch it because it's kind of like a slime filled ball. Like, it's just like, it's weird how it feels. And it doesn't look natural at all. It's puffier than your normal face skin would be. So to remove part of it and put my actual hairline there will be great.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's different type of skin too. But I believe you were telling me previously that there are measures that they can do with like lasers to kind of make it blend. Is that correct?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember that. If I said that, then yes, but I don't.
I may have been dreaming that.
I don't know. I don't know. All I know for now is that they can fix the hairline, which will remove part of the graft, and then after that, they're going to do some eyebrow lift type surgeries to try to make my eyebrows more symmetrical, because my right eyebrow has no nerves or muscles in it anymore, so it can't move, and so it's lower than my other eyebrow and it doesn't show expression. So with the eyebrow lift, it still won't move, but at least it can be more symmetrical to my other eyebrow. So, and the doctor I saw the other day said I might need multiple eyebrow lifts over the years, because as you age, your face changes and you might have to redo it from time to time. So,
yeah.
But that'll be the next step. And then I don't know, maybe lasers too, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about the surgeries. What other type of lifestyle changes have you made as a result of this?
Well, I drink green tea every day now. I never was a coffee or a tea drinker, but I've been listening to some holistic doctors who talk about cancer fighting foods and beverages, and green tea is apparently a really great one. And matcha tea is even better, but I haven't figured out how to make matcha tea not disgusting yet. So
You got to figure out how to do the foam thing. It was funny the other week. Serenity was like, you too can make matcha tea at home just by picking up some grass and putting it in the blender.
Yeah.
I was like, that's hilarious.
That is what it tastes like. And I don't necessarily mind. I don't know. It's you got to make it. It's not like a tea. You have to put it in the blender with like almond milk or something, and I don't know. It's more effort, I guess, and I don't have it down yet. So I've just been doing regular green tea with, what do they call that, honey?
Manuka
honey, yes, because that's another thing. Honey is really good. So I have these green tea flowers, which are one of my new favorite things. They're little like hard flowers. They're like dried flowers of green tea, and you just drop it in your hot water, and it's cool. So I've been drinking green tea every day. What other?
eating a lot healthier.
I'm trying.
You're avoiding certain things though.
Yeah, I avoid alcohol and trying to limit sugar. Sugar is terrible for cancer, and that's been the hardest thing. Someone told me that I have a friend who years and decades ago was a drug addict, and she also quit sugar like a few years ago, and she said in comparison to that, sugar was harder for her to quit than crack cocaine and
I believe it.
heroin and everything. She's like, it was the hardest thing. And I'm like, I can believe that too, because of how hard it is. So I'm not like there yet, but I am very aware of it, and I'm trying, and I'm trying to make better decisions with food and nutrition as well. But I think it's just gonna be a process. So yeah, I haven't been able to necessarily get back into the gym yet, but I think I'm getting close. I rollerbladed for the first time yesterday, and that was nice. I'm a little concerned or apprehensive about lifting weights right now, just because my stomach is still really sensitive. So I don't know, but everything is moving in the right direction at this point. So just kind of in a waiting period in between the different MRIs and surgeries.
Finding guests for a podcast can be difficult sometimes, so Brooke and I wanted to let you guys know that we are available to appear on your podcast.
We also enjoy speaking at events, so if you have an event coming up, these jingles can go on the road.
Simply go to missbiz.com/contact, and in the subject line, write podcast guest or event speaker, and we'll reach out to you to further coordinate.
I mean, I can't imagine what you've been through, going through just all these different obstacles, all these different procedures, and all of the other elements that are involved with this. And I know that you've made a lot of changes to your life for the better, but what are some other things that you've learned along the way that might help our listeners?
Sure. I had shared in the other episode that I was surprised to see that when this experience happened to me, that I wasn't able to really pray and intercede on my own behalf in the way that I could for other people when they were struggling. And something that happened is my parents invited me to their church that they were having a worship night. And the worship leader who was leading, her name's Honey, she's really anointed and just really gifted in leading worship. And so when I got there, it was like almost immediately I started to feel the presence of the Holy Spirit in a way that I couldn't feel at home. And also people came around me and they prayed for me, and I just had such a closer moment and time of reflection and revelation with the Lord in a way that I hadn't been able to achieve on my own before that. And so what I learned from that is that when someone is going through a difficult time where they personally just can't fight for themselves, that if you can just get yourself to the place where the Holy Spirit is at and be around other believers, that they will do it for you. You don't have to do it alone. We're not intended to do it alone. We're supposed to be there for each other. But I don't think we always realize that there's a place we can go. And it may not be, like, this wasn't a Sunday morning service. This was like a, I don't know, Friday evening or Thursday evening or something like that type of a service. And it was very intentional about being worship was the focus. But yeah, I just learned that if nothing else, I got to get myself somewhere where the Holy Spirit is at. And I told that story to Crystal Parker, who's a friend of mine, and she's been a guest on our show. And she related it to a story in the Bible where there was a man in need of healing, and he couldn't walk himself, and Jesus was just surrounded by so many people that they couldn't get to him. And so his friends carried him up onto the roof and lowered him down through the roof to Jesus so that Jesus could heal him. And when she told me that story from the Bible, I've heard it many times before, but it had a new meaning for me because that's what I felt like happened to me, both at that church service, but in general with all of the friends and family and support that came around me in this time, was that they were carrying me, and they were being that they were interceding on my behalf because I couldn't do it for myself.
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. That's such a beautiful story. And how often do we go through things and forget that we need to lean on Jesus, and we need to lean on our friends as well. I mean, that was the whole purpose of creating relationships here on earth, was to have community and to help lift one another up. And it can be difficult when you're the one that needs to be lifted up, but I think just submitting yourself before God will allow that to happen.
Yeah. And sometimes you may even know you need Jesus, but you're sitting there and you're praying or whatever, and you're just not feeling like you're getting anywhere, not feeling like you're finding him, not feeling like he's answering you or hearing you, or that you're not hearing from him. And what I learned is that other people can get you there. Other people can pick you up and carry you to Jesus's feet. And you don't have to get there yourself. You just have to recognize that you can't get there yourself and go find the place where those people are, or allow them to help you.
Absolutely. Anything else that you'd like to share with our audience as far as tips, advice, or next steps?
I don't know if I'm at the place yet to really have advice yet. I feel like I'm still taking things day by day, and maybe a couple years from now, I'll be able to look back and say, oh, here's the things to do and not do. I'm still learning and still figuring things out, but I would say that if you are in a time where you're struggling, you may want to isolate, you may want to be by yourself, you may not even feel like you have the energy or the desire to go to a church service. I know for me, I wasn't going to church during the time because I had that big wound on my head.
Right. And it was open too.
Yeah, and I had the tube sticking out of my head for that time, and I didn't want to go to church and have people see that and ask me and question me and all those things. I think there was more of a security in going to my parents' church because their people already knew, because my parents had already shared with them what I was going through, and so they already were aware and already praying for me. So I didn't feel like I was going to have to explain why I had a tube coming out of my head to a bunch of different people. So that was kind of what made me more comfortable to go there than to my regular church. But after going, I was like, man, I really needed this, and I need to tell other people that this is what they needed to do as well. And I don't know where it is. It may not be your typical Sunday morning church, but there are places where the Holy Spirit is moving, and you got to find it. You got to find it all the time, but especially if you're going through a challenging time.
Yes. Well, there you have it, guys. We just wanted to keep you updated because the last episode had the vacuum, and a lot of people thought that was still the current situation. So we wanted everybody to be advised that we're not there anymore and it's getting better. And I would just like to ask our listeners if you could continue to keep Brooke and her family in your prayers. We would greatly appreciate it, because when we know that when two or more are gathered, the Lord is present.
Thank you.
We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Miss Biz helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Miss Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.